I try to figure that out. Steven Smith takes that ball for a ride, but it's foul. Now with a 1-2 count to Smith in the bottom of the first here. And that ball was smoked by Smith down to left field, and that's going to be extra bases off the wall. Smith goes for 2. Looks like he's going to go for 3, but takes a break there. And so that's going to be a leadoff double for Steven Smith to get the Mountaineers started in the bottom of the first here.
Yeah, excellent piece of hitting there for Steven Smith. I mean, that's exactly what the Mountaineers needed to do coming up to the plate. I mean, they had such a nice little run through there on the top of the inning pitching-wise, so they did exactly what they needed to do, just start some momentum flowing for this App State offense.
Yeah, and with a 1-2 count, while he was behind there, was able to find a way after a couple hard-hit foul balls in that direction. Is able to finally put one in play as now Riley Luft steps in. And the first pitch he takes is a strike. So Holder waiting for Luft to set. He steps off for a moment. He needs to reset. Looks like he has maybe a problem with his pitch calm, something like that. So he resets the hat, looking to the dugout, but we'll move on as rain is starting to fall here. So every time Eddie and I are up here together, it starts to rain.
Well, we ended the last broadcast with rain. We're starting this one with rain.
And I'm hoping it will pass. It was supposed to pass about 30 minutes ago as that pitch is fouled off by Luft behind him.
It actually wasn't supposed to rain at all today. There were a lot of projected clear skies. And obviously not the case anymore.
It's the closest National Weather Service station is in Raleigh. Quite a ways away from Boone as that ball hit hard by Luft down the third baseline and foul. So still an 0-2 count to Luft. Who has 31 RBIs on the season. Looking to drive in Smith, who's on second base right now with no outs. And if you're just joining us, the Mountaineers also gave up 0 outs in the top of the first. We are in the bottom of the first inning right now. Nick Dorito only faced 4 batters. Got through the inning without giving up a hit. It's the pitch to Luft. Luft fouls it into the mitt of the catcher, and that is going to be an out. So Riley Luft goes down. The big swing there. But only 1 out as Ethan Puig steps in, still with a runner in scoring position. Chance to do some damage here.
Yeah, the Mountaineers are just going to need to continue getting something going. I mean, they've struggled with, found it back now. And that's been the common themes in some of these games. They've struggled to get things going early, and they can find it late in the game. But really, if they can find it here in the beginning of the game, especially against such a weaker Georgia Southern team, it'll be important for them to just get in the swing of things. Really, they need to set the tone today for the rest of the weekend.
As the first 2 pitches to Puig can't find the zone, so already a 2-0 count for him. Favorable position to be in with a runner in scoring position. So the next pitch is a wild pitch. That gets past the catcher, and Steven Smith takes third with no issues. Rounding, show a little bit of a threat, showing off the speed. Just a stand-up steal there. Could have skipped over to third base. I think he had enough time there. Now a golden opportunity with a 3-0 count for Ethan Puig and a runner on third with only 1 out.
Ethan Puig with just a runner 90 feet away. He's got some power to him. Only has 200 home runs this season, but does hit 42. So very, very reliable bat at the plate.
The pitch finally does find the strike zone to set the count at 3-1. Holder delivers, and that ball's hit right up the middle, and that's going to score a run. So that'll be an RBI single for Ethan Puig, scoring Smith there. And now the Mountaineers lead 1-0 already early in this game.
And look who it is stepping up into the box, the big man himself, over at first base sometimes, hitting DH today, Cameron Miller.
So Cameron Miller will have a chance to advance Puig now as Puig stands alone on the base paths on first base.
Puig already has 4 runs this season despite missing a majority of the early games in App State's schedule.
And the first pitch to Miller is a ball from Holder. So the Mountaineers consistently getting ahead in counts here, both from the mound and from the batter's box as Cameron Miller takes that ball for a ride. That ball's hit back to center field to the warning track, and that ball is gone! A 2-run home run for Cameron Miller, and the Mountaineers lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the first.
That is game number 4 with a straight home run. So 4 straight games with a home run for Cameron Miller. Just seeing the ball immensely well.
As there's hot, there's on fire, and then there's whatever Cameron Miller is right now. He cannot stop knocking the cover off the ball. That continues again tonight. Mountaineers getting a comfortable lead started here early, with still only 1 out on the inning. Now Jake Mumau, who had an excellent diving catch in the top of the first, steps into the batter's box. He takes the first pitch for a ball.
Hits .373 on the season, has 20 RBIs. Now, there's no one on base here, but he could be of some help as the Georgia Southern pitching coach, I believe, is making a mound visit here.
Yeah, as probably going to have to take a moment to regather him. You don't want to let this game get out of hand. Obviously, you had a plan for taking your starter more than just 1 inning, so you need him to hold on here and to get an out or at least something not as horrific as what's been happening now.
Well, and you plan to keep your starter in at least 1 inning. It's been only a third of an inning. So definitely just, I don't think they take him out here. It looks like they are not going to. But you got to regroup, got to get him some sense of comfortability on the mound, because right now he looks really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah, as right now I'm looking to the Georgia Southern bullpen to see if I see movement. I see someone standing up, I think, taking off the warm-ups. So we might see some arms keeping loose at least. Wouldn't say he's on the mound yet, but at least keeping loose to make sure this doesn't get out of hand, as that ball is fouled back from Mumau into the stands.
Over in the grassy part behind the dugout with some beautiful flower bushes back there.
Yeah, it's a nice, what color would you say that is, Eddie?
Magenta?
I would say more of a fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
I like fuchsia. I think that's a good shade for those flowers. As the next pitch to Mumau is a 2-1 ball.
Yeah, right in front of Coach Smith's office. I'm sure he asked for those to be there.
And so the next pitch to Mumau, another ball, 3-1 count now. So now Jake Mumau in a favorable hitter's count and what has been a favorable hitter's inning for Appalachian State. As Mumau smokes that ball to center field. Center fielder backtracking again and makes the catch at the warning track. Something fell off his person. I thought that was the ball for a moment, but he makes the catch, no issues. A good tracking job on that one. So he needed some range to reach that. Mumau tattooed that ball, but that's going to be the second out of the inning for Georgia Southern. So now Colton Denton, the catcher, number 20, steps into the batter's box. It's already 3 runs this inning from the Mountaineers here in the bottom of the first, taking a commanding 3-0 lead already.
And
the first pitch to Denton is a ball.
Yet another App State batter who's hitting above 330. So these guys are just seeing the ball so well right now and doing a great job of batting each other in, working, and doing something bigger than themselves for the team.
Yeah, absolutely, as it feels like everything's been clicking over the past 4 games. As you mentioned when we came in, Eddie, Mountaineers have won 4 straight coming into this one, won 9 of their last 11 games coming into this one, in one of the top spots in this Sun Belt Conference as well that we know is a very strong baseball conference. So next pitch to Denton is another ball, 2-0 count. So the next pitch to Denton, another ball. So Denton ahead 3-0 in the count. And as I was saying earlier, the Mountaineers seem to be getting ahead in both hitting situations and defensive situations. As Nick Dorito, we watched him get ahead in basically every count in the first inning, as Denton takes the first strike of his at-bat, 3-1. This is game 1, 3-game series of the deeper than hate rivalry. That ball was fouled back by Denton past the first base dugout. So now full count to him. Mountaineers and Georgia Southern will play again tomorrow and Sunday as well. You can listen to it here on 90.5 WASU.
Barring the weather.
Barring more rain, as we are standing in right now, as Colton Denton takes a pitch for a strike. So good mental fortitude by Holder to get out of that and get a strikeout against Denton, but still giving up 3 runs to the Mountaineers in the first inning. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Mountaineers will still be leading 3-0 as we enter the top of the second. And we are back here in the top of the second as Jack Myers for Georgia Southern steps into the batter's box and already has taken 2 quick strikes. I apologize for coming back to you a little bit late as the rain was coming down quite a bit a moment ago. But it's starting to clear up a little bit as it's coming and going throughout the day. A wild pitch from Dorito gets out of reach from Denton, so now a 1-2 count to Myers.
People might ask us later, what was the biggest impact of this game? It's going to be the rain is my answer.
It always is the rain, as up here in Boone it does pour down quite a bit. We are in April. Was kind of expected. This drought couldn't have lasted forever.
Yeah.
Eddie.
April showers bring May flowers.
I cannot wait for those Mayflowers. As stepping out of the box there was Myers for a moment. Now he's stepping back in and ready to rock and roll, as you would say. And that pitch is outside. So 2-2 count now to Jack Myers. He's batting .300 on the year. With only about 12 extra base hits. So a bit of a single machine. Jack Myers slices that one back beyond home plate. So still a 2-2 count for him.
Myers looks at the 2-2.
The pitch from Dorito, swinging and missing as Myers, and another strikeout for Dorito here. So first out of the inning is a strikeout for Nick Dorito.
Everyone filing back into the stands. Thought they might just take a concession stands break while the rain was going and then head back this way.
As I think everyone was trying to get some version of the App State ponchos we see littering the stands right now, but it started to clear up a bit. Hoping it stays, and I'm sure the players are hoping it stays like this too, as the first pitch to Max Prosny is a ball. And a huge swing and a miss. Set the count at 1-1 there.
Prosny trying to send that one to the moon. Or at least the trees behind the left field wall.
Those Doritos sets working quickly this evening. He sends another strike over the plate. So now 1-2 with one out. Chance for his third strikeout of the night already in only the second inning. As that ball is chopped to third base, cut off by Mumau. He throws to first and in time, second out of the inning.
Mountaineers making quick work of the Eagles here. Already threw 2 outs. And they seem like 2 quick outs to me. Dorito's going to be very pleased with this, keeping his arm health down, pitch count down, all the things. And that's why you want Dorito on the mound right now, because he's very, very efficient and has been over his last 7 starts.
As I mentioned earlier, he went 8 innings in his last start, which ties his career high. So had 8 strikeouts as well, getting him Sun Belt Pitcher of the Week honors. Looking to find that same sort of efficiency tonight, as he's thrown around 25 pitches so far. In the first pitch to catcher Sean White. First baseman Sean White. Not the snowboarder is a ball. And the second pitch from Dorito also cannot find the strike zone. So 2-0 count to Sean White. As Dorito delivers, hits that one into the gap between right and center field. And that ball is off the wall, and that actually hit the light pole. So that's a home run for Georgia Southern. So Sean White gives that ball some big air, and he's going to touch them all to give Georgia Southern their first run of the game.
I cannot believe that. You called it before the game. Oh, wow. Adam, for those who don't know, Adam called this before the game. He said, man, I'm really hoping Sean White does something big here so I can use the big air tagline. And it did. And it did.
Eddie, I cannot in good faith have you exposing me as wishing anything positive would happen to a Georgia Southern athlete on the field of play. But, yes, I did say that. I was hoping that would happen. So now it's a 3-1 game, still in favor of the Mountaineers as Nico Senesi steps into the batter's box. Senesi playing third base, batting .255 on the year. And he hits that ball high and far back to the right field wall, and that ball is gone too. Back-to-back home runs for the Georgia Southern Eagles. And now it's 3-2. 2 solo shots, but 2 home runs nonetheless off of Nick Dorito.
I talked about how I thought Dorito looked in his element. Maybe not so much.
The Mountaineers may have done themselves a huge favor putting up 3 runs in the first inning. Now just holding on to that lead with 1 run. Question is, how will Dorito and the Mountaineers respond to this adversity as Georgia Southern really heating up a bunt laid down by Wells straight to Dorito. He throws it to first, and that'll get the Mountaineers out of the inning, but not unscathed, giving up back-to-back home runs from White and Senesi. Now Wells bunts out and gets out of the jam for Dorito. But now a 3-2 game in favor of the Mountaineers. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back to the bottom of the second inning, where App State leads Georgia Southern 3-2 here as Drew DuPont steps up to the plate. Batting .378 right now with 3 home runs and 23 RBIs. It's a shame he has to hit leadoff here. You'd love to have him in a position where somebody's on base.
But not a terrible situation, as last inning we saw it was a blessing for the Mountaineers to get that hot start, putting up 3 runs in the top of, or the bottom rather, of the first inning.
So DuPont has looked at 1 ball, 1 strike. So he's waiting for his next one here. This one's delivered outside and away for ball number 2.
It's Holder continuing to struggle to get ahead of these App State pitchers. That was one of the issues that led to that 3-run first inning from the Mountaineers.
This one delivered, swung on, lifted high in the air in shallow center left field. 3 guys going for it. Somebody makes the call. The left fielder, Trammell, will come down with it, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
Yeah, as there, it looked like Trammell, Prosney, and Wells were all going to collide there, the center fielder, left fielder, and shortstop for Georgia Southern, but left fielder taking precedence there and getting the out.
Center fielder Charlie Evans steps in now as he looks for his first pitch. This one swung on, fouled away. Out by the right field side hill. Not very many people over there tonight. There usually is, but with the rain, I'm sure that ground is wet.
Probably going to need a tarp to put down on your seat if you want to sit over there.
This one's delivered for a ball. So Charlie Evans looks at a 1-1 count, 1 out on the board. This one's delivered, chopped over to the shortstop. Shortstop makes the transfer over to first base, but it'll hit the ground, not in time. And Charlie Evans will reach first safely.
Yeah, we can call Charlie Evans Charlie Hustle after that play, just legging it out down first base after the chopper hit straight to the glove of Wells, the shortstop. And Wells didn't have enough time to react or charge that, and Charlie Evans showing off the speed there and giving Joseph Zamora a runner here with 1 out.
So rounding it out in the top or in the bottom of this second, Joseph Zamora, he'll round out this App State lineup. Then we'll head back to the top if possible. Joseph Zamora batting .282 right now. So he looks for his first pitch. The pickoff over at first, not in time, so Evans will be there safely. Zamora 21 RBIs though this season, so another 20-plus RBI hitter for this Mountaineer squad. So he looks at his next pitch. This one just outside the tape, and they'll call that ball number 1.
And Zamora, a hitter who really responds well to having his teammates on the base paths. As Eddie mentioned, those 21 RBIs. Likes having those guys on the paths as they check on Evans again. Still, throw not in time.
Evans is very, very speedy, so he can get back to that bag in time if need be.
As we saw that on the single he just hit, Wells must have not done his scouting report. If he knew that, he would have charged the ball earlier.
He looks to do it again. Evans will make it back safely. So that's 3 pickoff attempts here.
3 textbook slide backs from Charlie Evans. Joseph Zamora's been standing up there for a minute, and it's still only a 1-0 count.
This one over the heart of the plate, but they'll actually call it low for ball number 2.
So maybe your depth perception is failing you a little bit, Eddie.
Yeah. I don't know. We've got a good angle up here, but not the best. So not the best angle. So everything looks a little wonky. As that one's delivered in there for a strike. So that one was true.
Is that one? It's a little bit more at the top of the zone. I think that's what Eddie is looking for here. If Eddie was up at plate. It's just
back over to Charlie Evans again for the 4th pickoff attempt with no avail.
Well, you know what they say, Eddie. 7th time's the charm. So only 3 more tries, guys. This righty-lefty matchup hopefully resumes.
This one over the heart of the plate, fouled back over the concession stand, over the pavement, over the gate, and that hits a car. Just bounces, just grazes a truck back there, but still hit a car. So there's more of still in this, 2-2 the count. He looks at pitch for a ball. So 3-2 full count to Joseph Zamora. Charlie Evans goes. This one's swung on by Zamora anyway, and he'll find a nice little gap between the second baseman and the first baseman. Evans will actually advance over to third. So we'll have runners on the corners, Charlie Evans at third, Joseph Zamora at first. And that's a nice little piece of hitting there as the top of the lineup, Steven Smith, starts things over again.
Yeah, and with the first baseman cheating over to cover the bag with Evans, with them checking on Evans so often, and the second baseman, Myers, having to come over as soon as Evans broke, it created a big hole on the right side for Zamora as he made contact with the ball. Kind of perfect timing, perfectly executed hit and run from the Mountaineers, and now they have runners on the corners for the shortstop, Steven Smith.
The wave going on in the crowd here, only making it about a third of the way through as Steven Smith looks at ball number 1. 1-0 the count, 1 out on the board. Your score is still 3-2, App State on top. Big hack by Steven Smith there.
Smith swinging out of his shoes on that one. I don't think I've seen his footwork like that. It was looking like a Scotty Scheffler golf swing.
This one delivered, bounced over to third base. It'll get past his glove. Charlie Evans will come in to score. Zamora will move to second, and Steven Smith will go to first. So an RBI single for Steven Smith.
Another good piece of hitting there from the Mountaineers. That'll score Evans. But Sanisi, the third baseman, had a bit of a play on it there for Georgia Southern and just wasn't able to come up with it. So that ends up in the outfield. And now once again, runners at the corners, this time with Riley Luft stepping up to plate, who has over 30 RBIs on the year.
This one sent high and deep by Riley Luft into center field. Center fielder going back to the warning track, and he'll find it in his glove. This one comes in, but the runner, Steven Smith, will be safe at second. He had to tag back to first, but made it over his way over to second in time. So that'll score 1.
So that ball was hit right in front of the warning track, in front of the 400 marker in dead center field. So tagging up there was Zamora and Smith. Zamora getting third base, Smith barely getting second, but he does get there in time before the throw. So with 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position for the Mountaineers.
I apologize, no one scored on that last play. It was the play before. As Ethan Puig steps in and looks at ball number 1. 2 outs on the board. Your score 4-2 as this one's delivered. Dribbled past the pitcher over to the second baseman. Second baseman scoops it up in time for out number 3. Jack Myers over to Sean White. And that'll end the bottom of this second inning. Not without App State scoring 1 more run to add to their lead and create some more separation between them and the Georgia Southern Eagles. Georgia Southern will come back and look to close this gap once more as they did in the top of the second when we return right here on 90.5 WASU. welcome back to the top of the third inning where Bennett Edwards, leadoff guy for Georgia Southern, starts everything off, hits a nice little grounder over to the first baseman. First baseman bobbles it, but gets over to the bag in time. That's Ethan Puig. And that'll be one quick out, one pitch, one out for Nick Dorito and this App State squad. Dorito still on the mound even after letting up 2 home runs in that last inning.
Yeah, as that ball was absolutely smoked by Edwards, but a great play at first by Puig to scoop it and then sprint to the bag in time, beating both the runner and Dorito, having to do it all himself with the unassisted put out there.
So James McCoy will come and step into the box. He'll look at ball number 1. This one's in there for another ball, so 2-0 the count now to James McCoy, finding himself in a little bit of a hitter-friendly count here.
Last time McCoy was up, he was Dorito's first strikeout of the day, looking at strike 3.
This one delivered in there for a strike, so 2-1 now to James McCoy.
McCoy clearly sitting off speed, was about a day early to that one. Had to hold himself back. Good movement on that from Dorito.
This one lifted over the second baseman's head. It'll dribble into right. Riley Luft will get a glove on it, but that'll be a single for James McCoy.
And Joseph Zamora was far back there as the second baseman. So far back you could have just called him another right fielder there, but just hit and landing perfectly in the gap between Zamora and Luft. So that ball was lifted a little bit more. Luft could have charged that, but with the line drive, it'll be the first single of the inning.
Comes the catcher, Brady Christman, and he'll hit into a double play. And that'll very quickly end the top of the third. A nice little 6-3 put out there for the double play. And that's all she wrote for the top of this third inning. We're going to take a quick break again, and when we return, we'll have all things App State offense. Welcome to the bottom of the third, where Cameron Miller set to take another hack at it here. Hit a home run his first time up. Craig Kalkbrenner on the mound now for Georgia Southern, as he throws one in there for a strike. So 0-1 the count now to Cameron Miller. Miller hit a RBI home run, and this one's lifted deep to center field, way back, way gone for home run number 2 for Cameron Miller.
2 home runs and 2 at-bats. doesn't get better than that. Someone has to turn the difficulty up for Cam Miller, as he is just raking right now.
I mean, I think this shows how valuable he has been to this squad and how much they missed him when he wasn't here.
Right, as he did miss a chunk of the season with injury, had to be eased back into the lineup, but I don't think there's any easing anymore. He's in the swing of things, no pun intended, Eddie, as that ball was just launched.
Well, Drake Mumal will look to get in the swing of things too, as this one's chopped and dribbled over to the second baseman. The turf playing a little factor in there. Second baseman not able to get there in time. Jack Myers stumbled a little bit, and Mumal will get over to first safely.
Yeah, Myers had to come in far for that chopper from Mumau, and as he was charging it, as Eddie mentioned, the turf kind of helped out with the spin, as that spun sideways off the barrel of the bat, and that was enough to force an error there on Myers.
Here comes Colton Denton, the hard-hitting catcher for this Mountaineer squad. So he looks for his first pitch. This one delivered for ball number 1. Crowd getting active and everybody returning back to their seats after the small rain event we had. Didn't look for his second pitch. Stays on it, but it's a strike anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So 1-1 now to Denton. No outs on the board. Pitch is delivered. Down in the dirt for ball number 2. So 2-1. No outs on the board. Runner on first, Jake Mumal. This one up high. So 3-1 now to Colton Denton. Just sitting back and waiting on everything.
The Mountaineers have done a really good job of staying patient at the plate right now, as they've scored in every inning of play so far, and that patience has really helped them, as Denton gets a walk, showcasing some of that patience I was just mentioning.
So he'll take his bag. Mumau will take his bag too. So he'll be at second. Denton will be at first with Drew DuPont stepping up. His first time up, he flew out to the left fielder. Had some pop on his bat though. He'll look to do something similar here. Or do the complete opposite as he shows bunt. It's a good bunt. Overthrown on the first baseman's head. One will come in. Mumau will come in. Everybody else will stay put. Colton Denton over at third. And that'll be an RBI double for Drew DuPont.
So I think that'll be maybe an RBI single. They'll score that as an error on the throw, as Kalkbrenner charged that after the bunt and tried to sling it over to first, but over the head of White. I believe that was Myers backing him up behind there, also not able to get it. Hitting the fence over by the hill on the first baseline and giving the Mountaineers extra bases there. But an excellent bunt there laid down by the Mountaineers.
We've got a mound visit here as everyone's slowly walking to the mound. All the Georgia Southern infield players. Outfield staying put. Charlie Evans waits ominously outside the batter's box. And you're right, that was scored as an error. So it'll be counted as a single for Drew DuPont.
But advancing on an error, and I think they said that was an error on the catcher, but I'm pretty sure that was Kalkbrenner who threw that ball over to first, over the head of his first baseman. But now that we have that all settled, Charlie Evans will step up. The 4-run lead for the Mountaineers in the bottom of the third, Eddie.
And this is exactly what they've just needed to do throughout this game. You know, Georgia Southern got those 2 quick ones in the top of the second. And App State really needed to expand this lead again just to feel comfortable here, and they've done it in a big way these last 2 innings. Charlie Evans looks at his first pitch for a ball down and inside. So 1-0 the count, no outs on the board, still 2 runners on the bags. Colton Denton on third, Drew DuPont on second. Evans almost batting .400 with 24 RBIs and 2 home runs. This one's delivered outside and just away for ball number 2. So 2-1 now to Evans. And with 0 outs on the board, there's a lot of ways that this could go. So he chops this one. It'll foul back close to his foot and roll back towards the dugout. So he'll even the count now to 2-2. Kalkbrenner toes the rubber. This one delivered, swung on, lifted to right field. The right fielder makes an incredible catch there, but one is gonna come in. That'll be Colton Denton. So another run on the board. And Drew DuPont will move to third.
Yeah, as Evans hit that ball pretty well out to right field, but essentially straight to McCoy. He played it a bit awkwardly and then kind of had to react last minute, jumping for that, which made it an impressive catch, but Mountaineers able to get runs out of it. Colton Denton crossing the plate, and now Drew DuPont on third base here.
So Joseph Zamora will step up. His first time up, he had a nice little single, advance all the way to third before being stranded. So he'll look to continue things moving with 1 out on the board. 1 runner on over at third, just 90 feet away. This one delivered outside for ball number 2. So 2-0 the count now to Joseph Zamora.
It's Craig Kalkbrenner on the mound right now for Georgia Southern, who's given up the 5th most hits on this team. So with 1 out, the Mountaineers could continue this.
This one swung on, chop past the first baseman's glove of Sean White, and Zamora will reach first safely. That'll score DuPont. And that's another run for these Mountaineers quickly in this bottom of the third inning, extending the lead now to 6.
Prior to Joseph Zamora, every App State base runner this inning has crossed home. So now it's 8-2. You thought 3-0 was a commanding lead. I would say 5 runs, or 6 runs. Sorry, I cannot count. That's why I'm a broadcasting major. I would say that's more of a commanding lead, Eddie.
Kalkbrenner will look over to first, try to catch Zamora. He won't. Zamora will make it back in time safely. So Stephen Smith still looking at the 0-0 count here. This one's delivered. Zamora goes over to second, and he'll get in there safely as the throw is not in time to Frank Wells from Bennett Edwards.
Edwards may have gotten that ball out in time, but it was a great break there for second from Zamora, and the ball bounced after it passed the pitcher's mound, and that took quite a bit of speed off of it.
Stephen Smith takes a big hack there for strike number 2, so he's 0-2 now. still looking to make some contact. 1 out on the board, 1 base runner aboard.
And with this being his 3rd at-bat in the 3rd inning, Steven Smith on pace to have 9 at-bats.
Man, every batter would love it to happen that way. Try to get that batting average up.
I mean, if you're batting .392, I'm not going to complain.
Exactly.
That ball was in the dirt to Smith.
So 1-2 now the count. Still 1 out on the board. This one swung on, lifted high. Left fielder tracking under it. And he'll make the play there. Zamora will stay at second. That was Bryson Trammell keeping things under wraps over there in left field. That'll bring up Riley Luft. He has a little discussion there with Steven Smith before he finds his way into the batter's box.
Riley Luft also on pace for 9 at-bats now with this at-bat.
First pitch is delivered. This one swung on by Luft over the shortstop. Shortstop fields it well. Frank Wells over to Sean White in time for out number 3. And that'll end the bottom of this 3rd inning, not before App State could put up 4 runs here and take a 6-run lead. Everyone in the lineup contributing here. We'll be right back with some more App State baseball as Nick Dorito is set to take the mound again when we return right here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to Jim and Betty Smith Stadium in the top of the 4th. The App State Mountaineers are facing the Georgia Southern Eagles. App State with a commanding 6-run lead, 8-2 here, as Bryson Trammell is up to the plate. Nick Dorito still on the mound. Trammell looks at pitch number 1 for a strike, as pitch number 2 is also delivered for a strike. And he looks to get things going in his direction as he's in a very much batter non-friendly count. That's strike number 3. The crowd, with a big reaction there. Love to see it out of Nick Dorito.
Why would you not have a big reaction, as that was a big swing from Trammell on that one on the strikeout. Looked like he was swinging to send that ball back to Georgia, but instead he'll go back to the dugout.
So Jack Myers will step up as he looks for his first pitch in there for a ball. So Dorito really firing on all cylinders. firing in more ways than one. These pitches are coming in fast. So 0-1 the count, 1 out on the board. This one, and they're going to get it checked. They call it a strike. So 0-2 now to Jack Myers.
Jack Myers falling behind again. Same story as his first at-bat, striking out in the second inning.
Dorito getting everything ready, delivers this one. This one fouled past the right field hill over there once again. So those kids over there getting a lot of souvenirs. Oh, 2 still the count. This one delivered, fouled back. Myers will keep himself alive here and will be very glad to have extended this at bat. Dorito delivers. This one chopped. Second baseman Zamora over there. This one in the dirt, in time, but no, they'll call him safe. So Jack Myers will reach first base safely. An impressive throw from Zamora, though, trying to just throw it cross body over to Puig. Just didn't get there quite in time.
Yeah, as that ball was chopped over almost to the shortstop side of the bag, but Zamora tracked it all the way. And by the time he was throwing with all that momentum going in the opposite direction away from the bag, wasn't able to get enough on it to get there in time.
This will bring up Max Prosny, excuse me.
Grounded out to the third baseman in his first at-bat.
He'll look at his first pitch for a ball. Dorito's ready. Delivers. This one also called a ball, so 2-0 now.
Those were the first 2 balls thrown of the inning by Dorito.
Prosny finding himself in a hitter-friendly count. This one's delivered. This will hit him. And that'll move Prosny to first. And Myers over to second.
So after leaving the first inning unscathed and also having a easier third inning, Dorito struggling in the even number innings, giving up 2 runs in that second, and now has runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
And this will bring up the big man. Sean White hit a home run last time up. With 2 guys on the base path, he's going to want to do it again here.
He was part of those back-to-back solo shots from him and the third baseman, Sinisi, who's on deck right now. The only 2 runs of the game from Georgia Southern.
This one's lifted high. Right fielder coming in to shallow right. That's Riley Luft. He'll find himself under that ball, though. And the ball will find the mitting there in his left hand.
Luft charged that one hard. Zamora might have been able to get to that with more of a saunter, but the outfielder, once it's on the grass, that's his territory. And he lets it be known by charging that ball and making the out there. So now 2 outs.
That'll bring up Nico Cincy. The infielder also had a home run his last time up. The second back half of that back-to-back pairing. This one's in the dirt. No one will move, though.
Sinisi also, as I just mentioned, also one of the 2 solo shots for Georgia Southern in this game. Another power threat here with 2 runners on base.
Sinisi watches that one go by. It's called a strike, so 1-1 now. swings on this one, chops it into himself. The ball will bounce back up into his leg. But it hit his bat first, so they'll call it a foul ball. 1-2 now to Nico Sinisi.
And that home run earlier of his was only his 3rd of the season. Maybe that thin mountain air helped him get that ball over the fence a little bit.
This one down in the dirt. Denton will throw it over to first in time for out number 3. That'll leave 2 stranded as Nico Sinisi is sent to the dugout. When we return, we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. App State looking to add some more runs as they've done every inning thus far right here on 90.5 WSU. Every day.
And we are back here in the bottom of the 4th. The Mountaineers are looking to tack on more runs. As Eddie mentioned, coming into the bottom of the 4th, Mountaineers have scored in every frame so far, scoring 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and 4 in the 3rd. First pitch to Puig is a strike. Craig Kalkbrenner stays out there for his 3rd inning of work. After the game was started by Holder, but after giving up 3 runs, his day was over. Second pitch to Puig is outside. It's now 1-1 count for him. Ethan Puig already has an RBI single from earlier, and he makes contact with that ball, flying over to the left fielder who charges in and makes the snag. Bryson Trammell there getting the put out. So 1 out to start the inning. So I believe that was the 3rd fly ball hit Trammell's way, getting his fair share of work here so far here in the 4th inning. But now Cameron Miller stepping up to the dish, who in 2 at-bats so far has already hit 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. As hot as can be for the Mountaineers. As he sends that ball again, this ball's going back, center field, it's gone! Cameron Miller, 3 at-bats, 3 home runs. Are you kidding me? Wow. As I think Cameron Miller has rendered Eddie speechless. And the rest of this fan base doesn't know what to say, but woohoo!
I mean, you think in your mind, it could happen, but you don't expect it. He's already hit 2 today. But no, for Cameron Miller, 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 gone ball over the wall.
As that ball has to look like a beach ball to him. As I said earlier, there's hot, there's on fire, and there's whatever Cam Miller is right now. So now the Mountaineers up by 7 runs, 9-2, continuing to score in every inning. Jake Mumau in the batter's box takes another pitch high, so now a 1-1 count after he took a strike in the first pitch. But I'm sorry, I was still in awe over Cameron Miller's performance tonight.
And this place just absolutely erupted. I mean, this is a great performance. This one's lifted into left foul territory.
As I don't know what else we can say today other than wow. But Jake Mumau now battling in a 1-2 count after slicing that one foul down the third baseline. Got on base with an error in his last at-bat. Mumau, solid contact with that into left field. That one gets down. Left fielder Trammell fields it as he goes to second. Misses the cutoff man to throw in time, but he's safe after a swim move by Jake Mumau, avoiding the tag of Myers, and he's in there to continue the inning for the Mountaineers.
That slide in did look a little slow. I saw the signal. I think they're going to challenge this one. I saw the head tap signal, but I couldn't exactly tell if he did touch him or not. I did see the little swim move, but for right now, he's in.
So from my assessment of it, from what I was able to see from all the way up here, was Mumau made the slide a little bit early and slowed down, lost some momentum before he reached the bag. So the throw did get there in time, but as the tag was put down by Myers, the swim move was put on by Mumau, and he took his left arm out of the way, right arm on the bag. And the tag may have missed him, may have caught him a little bit, but that is a close play. So we are going to go to a review for that. But what an offensive performance this has been for the Mountaineers. Just explosive so far. 9 runs in 3 1/3 innings.
And I mean, if nothing else, they extended the streak of having a run in every inning.
And we saw Nick Dorito struggle in that second inning as well, but all struggles altogether, still he's having an efficient night, as he still hasn't faced more than 5 batters in an inning. Mountaineers have gotten close to getting through the lineup in a few of these innings, especially last inning where they put up 4 runs, just 1 batter away from doing that.
This review taking some time, so they're really going in and dissecting every little piece of it.
As I'm sure they've got a few cameras at their disposal here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. You got the center field camera out there zoomed in. I'm sure that one took a look at it. You got some of the broadcast ESPN cameras down on first and third base lines up in their little bird's eye view booths, if you will.
And those will be really the ones I think they're taking a look at. They may look at this home plate cam in front of us, but I really think they're going to look at
third base camera.
That third base camera is really going to be the one that's the deciding factor. And unfortunate for him, that's a lot of pressure on good old Thomas over there on the third base cam. He's the deciding factor on which way this call goes right now.
But if Thomas didn't get the footage and nothing's conclusive enough, call will stand on the field. So that's going to be safe. So maybe Thomas is doing them a favor here, but still waiting with bated breath here in this stadium. Not as if it were a close game, but this is called the Deeper Than Hate rivalry. So every run counts for both these Mountaineers and these Georgia Southern Eagles fan bases. So the umpire comes out and makes the official call and says the video review agrees with my original assessment, and he is safe. So Jake Mumau able to leg out a single there after the home run from Cameron Miller. Now Colton Denton, the catcher, steps to the dish. What a walk in his last at-bat. So Mumau, now the runner in scoring position for the catcher, Denton. It's the pitch from Kalkbrenner inside for ball 1. Kalkbrenner high in hits on this Georgia Southern pitching staff, continuing tonight. So we continue to see movement in that Georgia Southern bullpen. And a big swing and miss from Denton on the second pitch of the at-bat.
There have been 12 recorded hits thus far for the Mountaineers, as opposed to Georgia Southern's 4. And 7 more App State batters have made their way through the lineup.
But 2 of those hits for Georgia Southern were home runs to get them on the board, especially after that Mountaineer 3-run first inning. Made them sweat a little bit, but the Mountaineers' bats have just exploded since then. And the defense, helped by pitcher Nick Dorito, have been working well since then. So now it's a 2-2 count to Denton. Pitch delivers. Denton hits that one to right field. Backing up is McCoy, and he's able to grab it, but tagging up is Mumau. Mumau able to get third, standing up. So now with 2 outs, runner standing on third for Drew DuPont.
Yeah, and McCoy did a good job of tracking that one. You know, it came off the bat right about 2 or 3 lengths above him, two of him, I'd say. And so sometimes that can get tricky if you're out in the outfield to see kind of on your eye level. But he tracked it well, stumbled a little bit, still found the glove on the ball, though, for that nice out there for him out in right field.
Yeah, kind of one of those hits that's a hybrid between a fly ball and a line drive. Not quite hard enough to be called a line drive, but not quite high enough to be a fly ball, as that ball is smoked by Drew DuPont straight in front of the right fielder, and that'll score a run. So now 10-2 in favor of the Mountaineers, thanks to the RBI single to right field from Drew DuPont.
And there's nothing much else I can say except what you said earlier, that they are just seeing beach balls out here. The contact that App State is making, even on the hits that are not necessarily dropping on the ground where the fielder might find their way under them, they're still seeing great contact and getting really nice trajectory on some of these balls.
Either a beach ball or it's coming in slow motion to them, but they're seeing this ball great right now, up and down the lineup. Charlie Evans shows bunt, but that is out of the strike zone, so pulls it back in time, and it'll be ball 1 to start the at-bat. Edwards, the catcher, checked on DuPont on first. DuPont retreated. Now Kalkbrenner will set and fire. And that's another ball down low. Evans getting ahead early on a 2-0 count. Had a single in the second inning. Had an RBI flyout to right field in the third. So that's ball 3 to the righty Evans. So Kalkbrenner struggling to locate here. Joseph Zamora, who already has 2 hits on the day, is on deck as well. So that ball is hit in the hole past the diving shortstop and into left field and advances the runner. So Charlie Evans gets another single on the day, advances Drew DuPont into scoring position as Joseph Zamora strides in.
And it's been a struggle over in that shortstop position for Frank Wells today.
It's really been a tough day for the middle infield as a whole.
Yeah.
For Georgia Southern.
Just misjudging some things, some hits that he honestly probably could have made a play on. I think just diving a little bit too early, not getting his arm all the way extended out, getting a glove to a ball.
So the first pitch to Zamora was a ball, and Kalkbrenner sets to deliver the next pitch. And that ball is hit into the gap between left and center field by Zamora. Scoring is 1 run, scoring is 2. Zamora will take second, and that's a 2 RBI double to put the Mountaineers up 12-2 in the bottom of the 4th.
And I can only think that Kalkbrenner's out there just trying to make the best of this situation. He's got 2 outs on the board. Just trying to get out. He knows his number won't be called again. His next time out.
Absolutely. So now the Mountaineers have 4 runs in this inning after DuPont and Evans cross the plate there. And Steven Smith steps into the batter's box and takes the first pitch for a ball. As a pitch, second pitch of the at-bat, swing and a miss by Steven Smith. Joseph Zamora, the runner on second. Mountaineers have 15 hits to Georgia Southern's 4 right now. Score is 12-2, and only the bottom of the 4th. Mountaineers scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, and 4 so far in this 4th inning with 2 outs as that ball is fouled backwards by Smith to set the count at 1-2. Smith already with a double and a single tonight. Getting an RBI on that single. So that ball's in the dirt. 2-2 count now to Smith. So Smith's 4th at bat of the day and already his 3rd time seeing Kalkbrenner.
He slowed down his pace just a little bit. We might not see 9 at bats in 9 innings, but still impressive that he's gotten up for the 4th time in 4 innings.
As that's going to be a strikeout to get Georgia Southern out of the inning, but not without giving up 4 runs. A strong inning from the Mountaineers with 5 hits, and now they'll look to continue their good defensive effort in the top of the 5th. But we're going to go take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more Mountaineer baseball action here on 90.5 WASU. And we are back here in the top of the 5th. Mountaineers lead 12-2 over Georgia Southern in game 1 of this 3-game Sun Belt series. That is the deeper than hate rivalry. Nick Dorito is out there for another inning of work for the Mountaineers. And the first pitch from him is outside for a ball. It's the second pitch of the at-bat. Finds the strike zone 1-1 to Frank Wells, the shortstop. Dorito has thrown 51 pitches entering this inning. And the next pitch from him outside, 2-1 to Wells. So Eddie mentioned it's been a tough day for Wells at shortstop. A lot of balls have been hit that way, taking weird bounces. Another ball hit towards shortstop and in the hole up the middle for a single for Wells. So Georgia Southern will get a hit to start this inning.
and I don't want to discredit that piece of hitting. That was a nice little hit. I do think that the umpire out there close to second base may have impeded Steven Smith's ability to lay out for that ball. I think he knew he was in his – Steven Smith knew the umpire was in his vicinity and didn't want to jump on him or injure anybody.
As now Bennett Edwards, the catcher, steps up to the plate. And the first pitch from Dorito is a ball. And he has Wells, the shortstop, on first with no outs here in the top of the fifth. He's taking a big secondary lead is Wells. And Dorito still unable to find the strike zone. The count is 2-0. So that ball is hit hard to right field. Riley Luft is backtracking, and he makes a great catch at the warning track. Luft charged that one backwards towards the warning track off to his left side and is able to make the catch for the first out of the inning. That could have been danger if he doesn't come down with that one. But he does. So now James McCoy, the right fielder, steps in. The left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher. It's the first pitch from Dorito, unable to find its spot. It's a 1-0 count.
McCoy struck out and had a single in his 2 plate appearances already. So a little bit of mixed reactions looking at Dorito's pitching.
And that pitch was grazed by McCoy and straight into the glove of Denton, so now it's a 1-1 count. Dorito inside, ball 2. Runner on first, 1 out. Double play is possible here as that ball is hit foul backwards out of play. But the shift is on right now for the Mountaineers as Smith has moved over to the second base side of the bag over with Zamora and Puig. And all alone on that other side is Jake Mumau in where Smith would usually play. As a big swing and miss from McCoy. Another strikeout for Nick Dorito.
And another strikeout for James McCoy. So him directly having an impact here on Dorito's strikeout count up until this point.
And it's his 5th strikeout of the night here. In the top of the 5th as Brady Christman steps in, the DH. He checks his swing, but it doesn't matter. That pitch is over the plate, and that'll be strike 1 of the at-bat. Still runner on first, but 2 outs now. So the second pitch also crosses the plate. So now 0-2. Ahead early is Dorito. So now with a chance to get out of the inning. Here comes the pitch. Breaking for second is the runner, but nobody's there. Mountaineers didn't cover the bag because of the shift. As Zamora didn't know whether or not to cover it, or Smith as well. So they were getting back into their positions. But thankfully, alert there was Evans, able to charge in, get the ball, and keep Wells at second. But a bit of a scary moment there from the Mountaineers.
Glad they could keep that contained, though, at 2. He could have very easily taken third, I think.
As that pitch can't find the strike zone, 1-2 now. Chrisman looking for a strikeout on that pitch was Dorito. Just out of the zone. Now Dorito delivers. That ball is sliced foul down the first baseline and out of play. Good battle so far from Chrisman. Staying alive in this 2-2 count. The runner in scoring position on second. Rito delivers again. That ball's hit in the hole between shortstop and third. Rounding third is the runner, and that'll score a run. So Wells crosses the dish, and that'll be an RBI single for Chrisman to cut the lead from 12-2 to 12-3.
You got to start somewhere.
As Chris Paul hits the massive three to cut the lead to 42.
Got to start somewhere, though. And that's good for Georgia Southern, even with 2 outs on the board, to get something going. Get a run across. Try to keep this game alive.
Piece of hitting there from Chrisman as Trammell steps into the box and takes his first pitch for a ball. But to fall behind 0-2, battle back 2-2, and then get an RBI single out of it. It's a hitting coach's dream right there. That pitch in the dirt. Denton had to look for it, but it was at his feet, so unable to advance is Chrisman. And now the count is 2-0. Now Dorito delivers. That ball's hit straight to Zamora at second base. He tosses over to first, and that'll get the final out of the inning. So after giving up just 1 run, Mountaineers get out of the inning, leading 12-3, headed to the bottom of the 5th, looking to continue their streak of scoring every inning in this game. We'll be right back after this break. And we are back here in the bottom of the 5th as the Mountaineers are taking on Georgia Southern in this baseball edition of the Deeper Than Hate rivalry. If you're just joining us, Mountaineers have put up runs in every inning, scoring 3 runs in the first, 1 run in the second, and then 4 runs in the third and fourth innings. Trying to see what kind of damage they can do here in the 5th as Riley Luft steps up to the dish and takes the first pitch for a ball. So now Daniel Hartley is pitching for Georgia Southern. So the third pitcher of the game for them. It's the second pitch of the game from him inside for a ball. So 1 outside, 1 inside. Just trying to draw his boundaries. I'm sure he'll find one over the heart of the plate here. After Georgia Southern saw 1 inning from Will Holder and 3 innings of work from Craig Kalkbrenner. As that ball's hit into the hole past the third baseman, Riley Luft will get a single to get this inning started. So the Mountaineers hit parade continues. So they continue to knock the cover off the ball, up to 16 hits on the game here. Only really through 4 innings, or not even through a third of this 5th inning yet, Eddie.
No, not yet. And I mean, that's what you love to see. So technically they're averaging, what, 4 hits an inning? Obviously a little bit more than that in some innings than others, but hitting coach is just smiling right now.
As a bunt is laid down by Puig, that's going to advance the runner to throw to first in time, gets the out. So the fans think the first baseman there was off the bag. They thought White's foot wasn't there, but he was planted as he stretched out to make the catch. But that still is going to advance Luft to second with the out, and Cameron Miller would step up to the dish. But it looks like the Mountaineers really want this to be safe or a review, but the umpires are confident in their call and their assessment of the out at first.
You know what I got to say to that? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look who's coming up.
The goal of that is to advance a runner into scoring position, because stepping up to the dish is Cameron Miller. And if you haven't joined us, he's stepped up to the plate in the first inning, the third inning, and the fourth inning, all 3 times knocking the cover off the ball with 3 home runs. This being the 4th game in a row he had a home run, and he's going to get intentionally walked here. The Barry Bonds treatment for the power hitter. So now runners first and second for the Mountaineers as Jake Mumau steps up to the dish.
I mean, it makes sense. You'd love to see him get another shot here, though. That would be insane.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, really shame on me. I don't know if there's a saying for the 4th time, so I understand the decision to walk Cam Miller right now. As Georgia Southern can't solve him right now if there was a book on it. Now Jake Mumau, with 2 runners on base and 1 out, takes the first pitch of his at-bat for a ball. Mumau has a single and a double in this game already after flying out in his first at-bat.
Kind of a little mound visit between catcher. I think pitch comm might not be working. That's what it looks like.
The umpire comes out with the catcher to make sure everything's kosher. As Edwards makes sure Harley is all good. And it looks like he is. So Edwards puts his mask on, gets back into position. And stepping back into the box is Mumau. Count still 1-0. 1 out for the Mountaineers. Runners first and second right now. It's another pitch outside, 2-0 to Mumau.
If you look at Hartley's release, it really comes in. He's got such a short, he doesn't extend his arm all the way. It comes in almost like he's holding right above his shoulder. That would trip me out as a batter. I think I'd be worried about his kind of arm angle there more than the actual pitch. Looks like he's almost shoving it, kind of like the ball event in track and field. Can't think of it all.
Shot put.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's a shot put, as the third pitch was a fastball inside for a ball, and then Mumau takes the 4th pitch in a row for ball 4. So now with the bases loaded and 1 out, stepping up is the catcher, Colton Denton.
Has a walk and a fly out to right field up to this point. Even a walk would be good in this situation. You drive somebody home for free.
One out. The double play is in play here, but Denton trying to make some more noise for the Mountaineers. He's finally finding the strike zone there is Hartley to get ahead 0-1. Start the at-bat. The Mountaineers outscoring Georgia Southern by 9 at the moment. and out hitting them by 10 hits at the moment. As Colton Denton checks his swing on the pitch downstairs, and he holds back, so now the count is 1-1. Now Denton slices that one foul down the first baseline, charging at it, but not able to get it is Sean White, as that just went out of play into the grass there. Souvenir for the kids. 1-2 now. Luft on third, Miller on second, Mumau on first right now. After the single from Luft, the intentional walk for Cam Miller, and the walk drawn by Jake Mumau as Denton slices another one foul behind him. Hartley struggling to locate, but ahead in this count, 1-2. As Denton hits that one towards left field, and that one gets down. Scoring one is Luft. Miller rounding third, heading for home, and he scores two, and a two-run single for Colton Denton to put the Mountaineers up 14-3.
There's no other way. We've said it multiple times in this broadcast. They're just seeing the ball so well. I mean, the contact that they're making is otherworldly right now. And this Georgia Southern pitching staff has got to feel a little bit degraded with what App State's doing with their pitches, as there's a mound meeting here.
And as much as you'd like to, you can't intentionally walk them all. Every Mountaineer is seeing the ball well, just like Eddie said, and we're going to see a pitch change for Georgia Southern. So we're going to let him warm up for a minute. But now the Mountaineers lead 14-3, out hitting the Georgia Southern Eagles 17-6. Mountaineers have no errors. Georgia Southern has one. What a offensive performance so far for App State. We're only in the bottom of the fifth, and they've put up 14 runs. But don't go anywhere. You're listening to App State Baseball on 90.5 WASU. And we are back here in the bottom of the fifth as Drew DuPont strides into the box. And the pitcher stepping in for Georgia Southern, replacing Kalkbrenner, is Jansen. Not Kenley, but Kenty Jansen. Was an 8.8 ERA on the year. 12 appearances
Braves, Dodgers. He was on a bunch of teams, Kenley Jansen was. I remember him best on the Braves, though.
As the first pitch to DuPont was a ball lefty-lefty matchup here. As he finds the strike zone with an off-speed pitch.
You talk about an off-speed pitch. That was an off-speed pitch. That one went about 65 miles an hour, it looked like, from up here.
And it also went about 65 inches across the plate as well. The movement on that one. Here's the 1-1. Finds the outside edge. 1-2 now to DuPont. Runner still on first and second right now. After that 2 RBI single by Colton Denton, he's on first base. Jake Mumau was advanced to second, no one on third. Now the 1-2 to DuPont, outside, 2-2.
DuPont reached via a single and an error his last 2 times up. Also has a fly out over to left field. That one hits him.
So that off-speed pitch catches him. What looked like the heart of the back there. So now the bases will be loaded for Charlie Evans, who already has 2 singles and an RBI line out to right field. So a golden opportunity. Mumau on third, Denton on second, DuPont on first. With 1 out still. So the next pitch to Evans. That's 2 pitches, 2 balls. 2-0 count to Evans. So Mountaineers lead by 11. So if they hold this lead for 2 more innings, that'll be a mercy rule at the end of the 7th. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, as Georgia Southern, while it's only been 3 runs, have had some responses to the Mountaineers here. Able to get some unlikely home run hitters to hit 2 solo shots earlier. Get some runs earlier as the wild pitch gets past the catcher, and showing like he was going to run was Jake Mumau. Made Edwards, the Georgia Southern catcher, sweat as he had to scramble for it. But everyone stays put there. And now it's a 3-0 count to Evans. It has to be a strike here.
You know, it rained a ton in the beginning of this broadcast, but it's turned out to be a beautiful night here.
That one finds the strike zone. Jensen Canny finally able to help himself out there. And that ball sliced foul over the first baseline dugout. A 3-2 count to Evans. Bases loaded, 1 out. So be interested to see what Evans can do here. So he actually has 2 singles on the day, but was able to reach second on an error after his single on his last at-bat. He swings and misses for a strike 3, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning.
Now this is the guy, Joseph Zamora, stepping up to the plate. That App State would really love in this situation. Bases loaded, trying to get something on the board, trying to convert it.
And that Evans strikeout was the first App State strikeout since the first inning, after Georgia Southern was able to get 2 to start the game. The first pitch to Zamora is outside. Mountaineers did not strike out once until that very at-bat there in the bottom of the 5th. So next pitch to Zamora, outside, 2-0 count. Zamora 3 for 3 so far, with 2 singles and a double, a couple stolen bases as well. Zamora hacks that one out of play behind him.
Crowd's still going strong here. Lots of seats taken up.
Now 2-2 count to Zamora, and the crowd disagrees with that call. But they're not changing Blue's mind. So now 2 outs, 2-2 count to Joseph Zamora. Bases loaded for the Mountaineers. So here's the pitch. Zamora hits that one foul. Behind him, barely making contact with that, but staying alive. Now stepping back up to the rubber is Kenty. And that pitch is outside. Now it's a full count to Zamora with the bases full. Mountaineers trying to extend this rally here with 2 outs. That pitch is foul. Once again, Zamora battling here. It's DuPont knowing it's a full count, broke incredibly early there. I think he was basically on second base by the time Zamora started his stride, let alone swung the bat. Three-two. Wild pitch, and that'll advance everybody on ball 4. So the Mountaineers score another run thanks to the patience from Joseph Zamora and the battle to stay alive there with the full count. And now we go back to the top of the order. Stephen Smith.
Glad Muma finally got to get home. He's been standing out there for a while now.
So now Denton on third, DuPont on second, Zamora on first for App State. And Smith has a double and a single in 4 at-bats so far. The 4th inning being the 1 inning he hasn't had an at-bat in so far. So the first pitch to him is outside for a ball. As he checks his swing there on a pitch out of the zone. Ump says he in fact did hold back, and now 2-0 count. Stephen Smith already with an RBI on this game, looking to get another here in prime opportunity, but Kenty still can't find the strike zone, and now it's 3-0 to him. You can't really make contact if it's not in the zone, can he, Eddie?
No, not really.
He's finally finding the strike zone there.
And
for the first strike of the at-bat to Smith.
With Smith's at-bat here, it's now his 5th at-bat of the game, and we've gone through the whole lineup finally this inning.
Another strike finds the zone, and just as fast as it became a 3-0 count, it is now a full count, 3-2. Zamora on first, DuPont on second, Denton on third. All of them break. So that ball was outside, ball 4. The Mountaineers will score another run, putting them up 16-3, thanks to another walk from Stephen Smith. And as Eddie said, we've officially gone through the entire lineup. And now Riley Luft is up for his 2nd at-bat of the 5th inning.
A nice 13-run advantage for the Mountaineers, and this will bring out Georgia Southern's pitching coach. Everybody gathering around the mound. The ball exchange happens there, and we get the signal.
So we're going to go ahead and let the next pitcher for Georgia Southern warm up. When we come back, Mountaineers will look to continue this inning where they've scored multiple runs. They have runners on every single base, and stepping up to the plate will be Riley Luft. But don't go anywhere. You're listening to App State Baseball on 90.5 WASU. We are back here in the bottom of the fifth. Riley Luft stepping up to the dish as Holden Wade is stepping in for Georgia Southern to take over pitching responsibilities. Going to be the fourth pitcher of the evening for the Eagles. It's the first pitch to Luft, hit high, curling down the first baseline, going out of play, and it just hits the fence, but neither the first baseman nor the right fielder could get there in time.
Sean White, James McCoy in a foot race to the wall. Unfortunately, both of them got beat by the netting over there.
And Holden Wade has 7 appearances on the year, has a 14.29 ERA and only 5.2 innings of work, and has given up 8 hits and 9 runs. Luft steps into the 0-1 count. And that'll be a ball, so 1-1. Smith on first, Zamora on second, DuPont on third. The bases are loaded with 2 outs here for the Mountaineers, but they've already scored 4 runs in this inning. The third straight inning where they've scored 4 runs, as that one is skied by Luft down the third baseline. Getting under it is Sinisi, and that gets just out of play, so nobody can reach it. And the at-bat for Luft will continue. That ball looked like it had a chance to land inside the field of play, but just hitting the edge of the indoor practice facility here down the third baseline of Jim Betty Smith Stadium. The 1-2 from Wade. It's another one skied by DuPont. Hit where that first one was on the first baseline. Getting under it is White, and he catches it and gets the final out of the inning. But the Mountaineers score 4 in that one for the third straight inning. Now up 16-3, headed to the top of the 6th. Mountaineers out hitting Georgia Southern 17-6, and Georgia Southern with the lone error in the game. When we come back, we'll have more App State baseball action in the top of the 6th in this deeper than hate rivalry here on 90.5 WASU.
welcome to the top of the 6th inning here in Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. The App State Mountaineers have a commanding 13-run lead over the Georgia Southern, excuse me. That's a series that we'll preview in a couple weeks. But the Georgia Southern Eagles here, as Jack Myers steps into the box, faces ball number 1. This one is nicely hit over to left field. Left fielder under it. That'll be Drew DuPont, and he'll very quickly secure the first out for the Mountaineers. Nick Dorito still on the mound for App State. And thus far, with 2 pitches and 1 out, working fairly efficiently.
Yeah, 72 pitches up to this point for Nick Dorito. He has 5 strikeouts as well on the evening.
As Max Pronsny will step into the box. He'll look at the first one for a strike. And it'll be 0-1 quickly. Prosny takes another big swing for strike number 2. So 0-2 now. Oh and 2, 1 out on the board. This one delivered away. So that'll be the ball number 1. Move to 1-2. Prosny playing center field today.
Prosny got on base once after getting hit by a pitch in his last at-bat in the 4th inning.
And he'll take a big swing for strike number 3, and he'll make his walk back to the dugout. Quickly, 2 outs on the board for Nick Dorito in the top of this 6th inning.
That's exactly what you want to see from the Mountaineers pitching staff at this point. Nick Dorito, reigning Sun Belt Pitcher of the Week, is expected to work deep in this game, and that's exactly what he's doing right now.
He delivers this first one to Sean White. It'll be in the dirt for ball number 1. White flew out his last time up, so he takes this one, swings on it, chops it foul. Down the third baseline, just dribbles. So everybody will get situated again. The count will go to 1-1, 2 outs on the board. Sean White digging in once more. This one swung on, big swing, and that'll be strike number 2. So we've gone back into the realm of Georgia Southern just being really antsy up at the plate, trying to swing at everything. That was the theme of the start of this game. It worked out for him having 2 home runs, but nothing's really worked for him since. This one again is swung on in the dirt. Denton will throw it over to first, and that'll be a strikeout to end the inning. So 2 strikeouts to end the top of this 6th inning. Nick Dorito making quick work, allowing App State to virtually go right back on the base path here. Try to add some more to this 13-run league. We'll have more for you here on 90.5 WASU when we return. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning here in the high country in Boone, North Carolina. Elevation just a little bit more than 3,333 feet. That's our basketball arena. I'd say we're about 300 or so feet higher than that currently.
It's a bit of an uphill to get here, isn't it? It's a bit of an uphill.
I've walked that hill before.
Ugh, I've walked down it, not up. I would never do that to myself.
I've walked in a full suit. Anyway.
You're insane.
Ethan Puig steps into the box. Looks at a pitch for ball number 1. This one's lifted in to the left center field. Excuse me, right center field. Right fielder under it, able to make the play. That's James McCoy over there. So getting some work his way. So Puig lifts this one for no gain. Be ruled as a F9 in the scorebook if you're following along. Cameron Miller steps up to the plate, has 3 home runs today. He got intentionally walked his last time up. Takes a big hack there, looking to continue that streak.
Yeah, you think he wants another one with that swing, Eddie?
I mean, I'd take another one.
Oh, I know you won't complain.
Waits on that one, so 0-2 will be the count to Cam Miller. So really the first time he's been behind in a count, he's really only taken either 1 or 2 pitches to find the ball well. Didn't take any pitches his last time up. This one dribbled on the ground between the first and second baseman, rolls all the way out there to right field. So he'll still find his way on base. Granted, it won't be as spectacular as it has been the rest of the game, but I think to him that's better than an intentional walk.
Oh, I will take that all day. A good piece of hitting nonetheless. After falling behind the count, he still finds his way to get on base thanks to that hole between first and second base. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Cam, so his night will be over. But what a night it was from Cameron Miller. 3 home runs, a single, intentionally walked after those 3 home runs. 4th game in a row hitting a home run. Wow, what a night, Eddie.
What a night. And that looks to be Brett Clements running for Cam Miller. This one's lifted back behind home plate. It'll hit the roof of Kermit Smith's office and clubhouse combination. So everything's looking well for Jake Mumaw here as he fouls this one off for strike number 2. So 0-2 the count. 1 out on the board. Runner on first. Brett Clements pinch running for Cameron Miller. This one swung on, dribbled back behind him. So still fighting here, down 0-2. Holden Wade still on the mound.
And Mumau has been on base 3 times this game, and all 3 times he has scored. So I'm sure he'd like to see that continue.
This one's hit back up towards the pitcher. It'll bounce off his leg, find a way into the second baseman's glove of Jack Myers, and he'll put it over to Sean White to get Mumau out at first. Clements will move, though, to second, so a runner in scoring position with 2 outs on the board as Colton Denton steps up to the plate.
Yeah, as that ball was hit pretty hard off of Wade's right leg. He was testing it out there for a second, but we won't see a staff come out and evaluate him. He feels all right, and that ended up ricocheting right into the glove of Myers for the out there. But by the time got in his glove, Clements was already past him, and the double play was off.
So Colton Denton will look at his first pitch of the at-bat. This one in the dirt for ball number 1. Has a walk, an RBI single, and is flown out to right field. He's reached home once today, which just about everybody on this lineup can say they've done at least once today. But Colton Denton will look at a strike, so 1-1 now the count. This one delivered. Denton, this one dribbles over to the shortstop, over to first in time, and that will be out number 3 of the bottom of the 6th inning. So App State, for the first time, does not record a run in any of the innings this game, as things look to just hold on as we head into the 7th. We'll be right back here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium on 90.5 WASU.
And we are back here in the top of the 7th, what could potentially be the final inning of the game here, as the Mountaineers are up 13 and the 10-run mercy rule is in effect here in college baseball. But Nick Dorito is still up for his 7th inning of work and throws the first pitch for a strike. Going to be a complete game here for him. Not 9 innings, but 7 innings still, even though he threw 8 last week.
He's definitely given his arm a good workout. But that's why they only throw him once a week, if that.
Absolutely, as he's gone over 82 pitches tonight.
Still a relatively good pitch count for what he's faced, and, you know, rolling now into the 7th inning.
As Sinisi takes the 3rd pitch of his at-bat for a ball, so now the count is 2-1. Sinisi, one of the 2 home run hitters for Georgia Southern tonight. And that ball was hit to center field. Charlie Evans gets under it and makes the catch no problem for the out.
Evans, one of the most dominant center fielders in all of college baseball, continues to just put on a clinic this year. It's been so fun to watch him and call some of these games, see him just progress throughout the season and really have one of the most historic seasons of in- and outfielders way here at App State.
As the first pitch to Wells from Dorito is a strike. So now Dorito sets to throw. And that pitch is hit down the 3rd baseline. Mumau fields it, throws it over to Puig in time, and that'll get the 2nd out of the inning. So Mountaineers leading 16-3 right now in the top of the 7th. And what could potentially be the final out is Bennett Edwards, the catcher, stepping in to the circle or into the batter's box. So the first pitch is a strike. Dorito getting ahead early. Actually a pinch hitter for Georgia Southern, Sammy Lace, and as I say that, he takes a big hack for strike 2 of the at-bat. So Dorito, an opportunity to put it away here. The 0-2 count to the pitch hitter from Nick Dorito, and his swing and a miss, he strikes him out, and that's the ball game. Mountaineers win 16-3 on the back of a complete game from Nick Dorito, where he has 7 strikeouts, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, going through all 7 innings. I apologize, I believe that's 8 strikeouts after that one. For the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Week, Mountaineers take the first one of this 3-game series of the Deeper Than Hate rivalry.
Absolutely, Adam, and it was just such a fun one to watch. From starting this game where we thought it might have been a close one heading into the bottom of that 2nd inning, and then App State just opening a can of you-know-what here and doing a great job of just tacking on these runs over and over again.
And any other night, the story would be the team offense from the Mountaineers would be the contributions across the board. But when you look at it, Cameron Miller, 3 home runs, 3 at-bats in a row, getting the intentional walk and scoring, and then in his last at-bat of the night, hitting a single in the hole. What a dominant performance from the hottest hitter in the Sun Belt right now. Arguably the hottest hitter in college baseball right now, Eddie.
I mean, his just ability to come in, from the injury, from what he's faced through this season, and come in, and it took him a second to find his step. You could tell he had to knock some of the rust off that all season rust. He had been working, but to get to this point where he has now hit a home run in 4 consecutive games, and then now adding on 3 in 1 game, is truly incredible to watch, and that's just a huge presence that we know that this App State squad has been missing, and now got that missing piece back.
And one of the other players that I think had an underrated night was Joseph Zamora in the batter's box as well. Had 3 hits in his 4 at-bats, had 2 singles, a double. Wasn't able to cross the plate at all tonight, but getting that contribution from the bottom of the order, seeing this top-to-bottom talent on this App State offense, it's an encouraging time as we reach the final stretch of this Sun Belt play.
Yeah, I mean, you see that whole lineup go through in, I believe, the 5th inning. You just see everybody working. You see everybody contributing. Really, everybody had their moment tonight one way or another. You got to give it to the guy on the mound, though, Nick Dorito, just making his stuff work, being very, very efficient out there on the mound. And I mean, I loved watching everything he had in his repertoire. He showed us a little bit of everything, and he had some struggles. He had some struggles in filling up counts, but then he got out of it. Then he made him work and made the batters really work for their chances.
And that right there is the true test of talent. It's not about can you dominate night in and night out, but can you face adversity? Can you answer the call when things get tough? I think Nick Dorito proved that tonight. This Mountaineer baseball team, though, coasted to this victory thanks to the offense. We've seen them face plenty of adversity throughout the season. So definitely an encouraging sign to get a dominant victory like this.
And Adam, real quick, before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight. We didn't have a lot of opportunities to call here at WASU or in other aspects of broadcasting, but I'm glad that this will be our final moment to call together.
Yeah, it's been really fun getting to know you, Eddie. It's been really fun calling baseball with you. I've had a blast every single time we've come up here, the couple times we've done it, but I've had fun, have a great time with you every time you've joined us on Third Man High on 90.5 WASU, and I'm so excited to see what you do in the future here, man. I'm going to keep paying attention with you as the future station manager. I know you're going to do great things, buddy. So that is going to do it from us here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. Tomorrow the Mountaineers take on Georgia Southern again at 3 p.m. Michael Santiago and Eli Pauka will be on the call here on 90.5 WASU. And if you want to watch the Mountaineers whoop on some Eagles even more, on Sunday at 1 p.m., Tristan Beazle and Dylan Shepard will be on the call here. But if you can, you got to make it up here to Jim and Betty Smith Stadium, one of the most beautiful stadiums here in college baseball, and you get to watch the hottest hitter in baseball, Cam Miller, knock the cover off the ball. What's better than that? But thanks so much for joining us. I'm Adam Persico.
I'm Eddie Real.
And we appreciate you joining us for this edition of Mountaineers Baseball.